Welcome to the Aging Network Central Valley. Today we will hear about why you should plan your funeral or cremation in advance, and what estate planning is and who needs it.
Hi everybody, my name is Morgan Place. I'm a partner at LawVex, a law firm handling estate planning located in Clovis, California.
Hi, and I'm David Adami, Family Service Counselor with Whitehurst, Sullivan, Burns & Blair Funeral Home in Fresno.
David, is it possible to pre-arrange or plan out your funeral or cremation in advance?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I get asked that quite a bit. And it's important to do it in advance. You know, for one, it gives you the opportunity to make a lot of informed decisions when you're not dealing with the stress of a loss. You're able to get all of your options, look at various ways that you can put a funeral together in advance, whether you're going to be buried or cremated. And it gives you the opportunity to say, you know, this is really what I want, because it really is for you. And when you do it in advance, there's going to be several benefits that I'll discuss that you'll be receiving by taking care of it in advance. But most importantly, you know, it's going to spare the burden from your family to have to make a lot of decisions under a lot of pressure. Sometimes there's emotional overspending that takes place, and why put your family through that? When you do plan in advance, you are able to know and have the peace of mind of knowing that you're taking care of everything that you want, how you want to be remembered, and taking away that stress from your family to decide that at a difficult time.
Now, you've already talked a little bit about this, but what are some advantages of planning out your funeral or cremation service in advance?
So the best part about planning in advance is that it gives you full control. You are able to look at all of your options, you're able to make all of the decisions on your own, and you're able to find out and have the opportunity of, we all know there's several funeral homes in town that you can choose from, but it gives you the opportunity to be able to look at those options, because as a consumer, you know, we believe that you have the right to take a look around. And so when you are able to look at your option in advance, you're able to make an informed decision as to what you feel is best, not only for your family, but for your pocketbook. When you're looking at these options in advance, you're able to see what is most important to you. You're able to put together a plan that you feel is best for your family, that is best for you and what you would have wanted for yourself. It gives you the opportunity to really set a plan in place so that when your time does come, your family isn't having to make all of those crazy decisions ahead of time. And you'll know that they're not going to have a car wash on the corner somewhere with your picture on it, because you've already taken care of it. So it's done. And, you know, it really just saves a lot of stress and burden from your family. When, you know, we don't believe that anybody should walk through our doors unprepared, you know, because going into a funeral home, it's a scary thing. And so why put your family through that? So planning in advance is definitely the best thing to do.
I have life insurance. Shouldn't that be enough?
You know, most people think that it is. Life insurance pays out a one-time lump sum benefit, which is great because you'll be able to use that for your funeral services, as most people understand life insurance. But what you don't realize is that life insurance may not be there when you need it. There may be times when life insurance is absorbed by, let's say, long-term care that may be needed, or if you have a tragic accident or whatnot. Life insurance tends to be the first thing that people run to when it comes to needing some type of emergency assistance. On the other hand, life insurance is also not going to lock in pricing. So at the time that you experience a loss, families will bring life insurance policies to us. One of the things that life insurance does not do is it does not make decisions for you. So your family still has to go through the agonizing process of having to decide everything that you want at that time. And one of the things that I tell people too is that, let's say, for example, You have a life insurance policy that's worth X amount that's to be paid towards your funeral services. At the time that that person obtained that life insurance policy, maybe the value is going to pay out that certain amount, but if you don't need that funeral service for another 10, 20, or 30 years, well, that life insurance policy may not be enough to cover your wishes. So life insurance is not protected from inflation. As we all know, that funeral services do go up in pricing over time. Your family may still need to come up with some additional funds, and why put them through that? Also, life insurance is not always protected by if you need long-term care or whatnot. So when you put a funeral policy together, which is going to be funded by a life insurance company, basically what happens is those funds are going to be guaranteed to pay for your funeral services. So if, let's say, that you needed to apply for Medicaid or Medi-Cal services or whatnot, those funds are not always protected. And so that life insurance may not be there in the future when it's needed. But I always do tell people, of course, to consult with an attorney to make sure that if you ever need to spend down or take funds from a life insurance policy or whatnot, that you're doing the right thing. So, Morgan, what do you mean when you say estate planning?
This is the first question I always get. Estate planning is just a fancy word for we help people get their final decision making in place. We help draft documents that help you identify who you trust as a special person to make decisions in your life when you're incapacitated but still alive, but also upon your passing. And we help you walk through decision making for what you want to do with your estate, which is just all of your possessions that you've accumulated through your life. So we do that with a set of tools. We call them the tools in the toolbox. The most common ones are your advanced healthcare directive, your durable power of attorney, a will, and a trust. So that's what we mean when we say estate planning.
So who would you say needs estate planning?
The short answer, virtually everybody. But that makes me sound like I'm going to go chasing you down the street, and I'm really not. We like to look at it in the context of what your life is. So if you are a parent and you have minor children, then an estate plan helps you identify guardians and also put money away for them for their future. If you own a business, estate planning can help you with what we call business succession planning. And that's pretty important if you've been working to build your own business. If you own a home, we want to be able to help facilitate transfer of that property without going through probate. So really, it's not a millionaire's problem. It's everybody. It's your middle class family. And for them, oftentimes the value is much greater because it allows for just the really important things in life to be taken care of. So that if your primary breadwinner passes or primary caregiver passes, we have something in writing that lets us know how we go on after that. And so you don't have to worry about that when what you should be doing is focusing on the loss and coming together as a family. So I think estate planning is important for everybody.
Now, can I make an estate plan on my own?
Yes. Technically, that is something you can do. And I actually think it's important to say that some people really can do it competently. But I also think it's important that you know that most lawyers pay another lawyer to do their estate planning. There's value there, even if you are well-versed in all of the terms and understand what the purpose is. But today, people are so quick to Google sample will, sample trust. And I understand that. I'm guilty of it. I do it all the time. But the problem with that is twofold, really. One is you have no idea what you're getting. There are, just like anything, there are different types of documents. And so if I Google sample will, I might get one. It might be for a different state. It might have outdated language. It might, have special terms for caring for my surviving pet, and I don't have that. And so you don't really know what you're getting. But the other part of it is you don't necessarily understand what you're doing. And I don't mean that in a negative way, like you can't understand it. It's that we're talking about pages and pages and pages of documents. And I think it's unrealistic to expect just your average person to be able to dig through a trust document and understand what all those powers are. So what you're really doing is basically playing Mad Libs. You see a space and you fill it in. And that can work, but the most likely outcome is that once you've passed and someone is trying to read that document, it will not make any sense. And the problem there is that then you're not getting any value. You may find yourself having to have your estate go through probate because the documents aren't helpful, or you can't get some sort of, agreement among family members because you thought the best thing to do was to have your children cooperate and go through the process together, and they can't do it. So doing it on your own doesn't really accomplish your goals. It doesn't help you avoid the cost and the time that goes into having to have something probated, but also might not carry out your wishes. So what we look at here is you're not paying for the document. You're paying for the time and the expertise of somebody who can walk you through what the most likely outcome is if you just write down on paper what you want. Because sometimes there are unintended consequences that you just can't anticipate, but as professionals, we really can. We can tell you, well, you might not want all 4 of your kids to act as your trustee because what if they don't agree on how to deal with your family home? Simple things like that you might not think about, but we have been handling it our firm's been around for 10 years, so we've handled thousands. So we can tell you this is what often happens. So paying a lawyer is an expense. There's no way to deny that. But there are law firms that offer really good value for what you're paying. So finding a good fit, finding a professional that you trust, number one, ensures that your estate plan will have effect. It will mean something, but it will also save costs to your children or your surviving spouse, because going through probate and dealing with those things will cost money, and that comes out of your estate. So yeah, you could try to do it yourself, but we really encourage people to get in, to talk to someone they trust, get a little education about what estate planning means, and usually they feel comfortable working with a professional once they've gotten to that point.
Thank you for watching today's topic. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel, and be sure to hit the bell to receive future notifications.
Once in a love, a